like that. Don't like that. I like that.
That is very offensive.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of TACT Lab. I think this one's episode 37, right? Yeah.
Lucky 37.
Yeah. So this is a podcast where four guys sit down and talk about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Today we got some religious cults for you. So once again, like every episode, I'm surrounded by three friends. On my right, I got Chris. Chris, how are you feeling today?
Doing all right. I either made or ruined someone's Halloween Saturday night, and I would like to say sorry or you're welcome.
Well, go ahead. You're saying it now.
What'd
Sorry
you do?
or you're welcome.
Well, I went to Sonic because they had 50-cent corn dogs, because why are you not going to buy a 50-cent corn dog?
Yeah, that's a Halloweeny.
Right. And as I'm going through, there's a family sitting down eating. And I noticed the dad had an ascot.
Okay.
And the wife was Velma.
Oh.
And they had two kids. And I was like, is that a seeing eye dog? Is Scooby. They had a seeing like a dog. And they're sitting down eating. So as I order my corn dog, I play the Scooby-Doo song as loud as I can through my speakers.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you thought it would land.
I was like, oh, this is awesome.
You're going to land a joke with them.
Yeah. And
They're just normal dressed up.
the only person that made eye contact with me is the dad.
I thought you were going
And
to
I
say the
figured,
dog.
well,
I thought you
you
were saying
know,
they're deaf.
maybe, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But maybe, the kid was blind or something, whatever. But I look back, and the kid is running around in circles holding his ears. So I'm pretty sure he was special needs. And yeah.
2 in a row. We're going to do it every week.
Nice.
Well, so are you sorry or you're welcome? Is that what you're saying?
Dad looked pleased. The child looked terrified.
So you did both.
I would say you were right on cue with I'm sorry and you're welcome.
And if Sonic wants us to do a commercial like that for him, instead of those two dudes in a car, we can do it.
Yeah, I'll suck down a corn dog.
A foot-long corn
You suck
dog.
it right off the stick.
Just like,
And yeah, that's why you don't play the theme song to Shaggy when he's wearing headphones.
Shaggy the Rapper?
The little boy.
It wasn't me.
So I got Thomas right in front of me. How are you today, Thomas?
Go! Welcome to the
Well, okay.
Robin.
Okay. Well, now we're lumped into something. I'm not with that. Not political.
you don't like the
I'm not
Kansas City
political.
Chiefs?
I'm
Yes.
a Carolina Panthers.
Let's go Pat Mahomes, I guess.
They're going to lose this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and to my left, I got Alex.
I almost killed a man on Friday.
Oh,
I will believe that.
Why didn't you, finish?
Did you get mad?
I was
Did
driving down Turkey Road, and
he pulled out in front of you.
apparently there's somebody walking on the side of the road that I didn't notice was there until he says, "Hey, man." And I noticed that he is standing right where my side view mirror is at, and I see him as I'm driving past him.
At what speed?
Were you at a stop sign when he walked up to you?
No, I was driving down Turkey Road at 35 mph road. Estimated everybody else goes 55 down the road, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
That's a
going to
weird
estimate
speed.
it.
That's what estimated.
It's a weird speed for that road.
3 + 5 is 8 at a 0. But anyway, and then the guy was standing there, and I couldn't. He was beside my door.
Hey, man.
Like,
Hey, man.
going down.
Well, he's just like, hey, man.
Is
He
it
was like,
dark?
"Hey, man."
Oh, he was pissed. You didn't give him enough
Oh,
room.
because you were going too fast.
No, I about ran him over.
Yeah, you were going above the posted 35.
Did
Like,
you
this
rip
is
speed
it?
limit.
Did you rip it when you got?
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck."
Really?
But
Oh, you go, hey, man, you freak out.
yeah,
Okay.
because my heart jumped down my chest too. Because I was like, I almost killed it. This dude he would have died.
Yeah.
It's like where Tyler's at. This is the front bumper of my truck, and I'm like going 55 down the road.
80.
35, you just say? Oh.
30.
Don't incriminate yourself.
Well,
And I felt real bad, but then I was like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, he shouldn't be outside running.
Don't wear dark clothes at nighttime.
Yeah.
all right.
Don't run on the main public road.
If you would have hit him,
I could have just pleaded I didn't see him.
It would have been like, I know what you did last
you would have
summer.
stopped, right?
No,
Yeah.
Okay.
you don't stop. You
Well, I have a white truck, so I probably had a blood smear down the side of it.
You would have had a dent too.
But it would have been the Friday before Halloween, so
you
you
could have
just-
got away with it.
It's a good time of year to blame it on the deer. They're everywhere.
I could just get some hair and shove it into the bumper.
You don't even need to. Just go home and clean it up and be like, I hit a deer.
This deer has flannel?
they do a deep investigation and find his
But
arm in there.
for the record, I would have stopped, checked on the man, called 911,
Right.
help resuscitate him if I needed to, mouth to mouth, everything that needed to do. It got bloody.
You
Vomit.
should have turned back around and went back by him and been, sup?
You got a
Elizabeth.
problem, bitch?
Maybe like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Pew, pew.
I get the right of way. There's no pedestrian right of way
Yeah.
out here. You're actually in the
I hate
wrong.
people that are so goddamn entitled and that the road is theirs.
Like that asshole cyclist that comes up
Yeah,
down the
or the guys that run down Main
Road.
Street 4 wide and they're in the road still and on a sidewalk, and it's like, do you mind?
Yeah, they pay taxes for that road.
Okay, they have every right to run on it.
Yeah, they have just as much right to get hit by a car as you do.
Okay, get out of my city. I know they're from Kannapolis. How you doing, Tyler?
Yeah.
I'm great. I've got
Rona.
I've got yeah. It is that time of season. Rona's coming back.
Yep.
Everybody brace yourselves.
Stock up on TP, man.
And aluminum foil
Now's the time.
Yeah, and zinc.
Definite. What?
Vitamins, zinc.
and glass.
Zinc.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, I'm
Apparently-
on some vitamin D3.
Yeah, if you take vitamin D, C, and zinc, you don't get it.
You don't get it if you wash your hands too. Mm-hmm. But I haven't heard the zinc thing.
Yeah, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. That's
I
why a
thought-
bunch of old people get it,
I
because
thought
they're trapped in nursing homes
zinc,
and basements.
I thought zinc was for something else.
What?
Like paint.
Like pimples?
No.
Like if
If you
I-
get a big dose of lead, they'll take care of it too.
Yeah.
I weld zinc, you'll die. If you breathe it in, you'll die within like 24 hours.
So you're saying zinc, the metal, isn't the same as zinc, the vitamin?
Well, I think happens if you
The same thing, right?
if you breathe in the
Just eat like 3
vapor
pennies a day.
of zinc, it's become something else. Like if you burn zinc, it becomes
It's the
something
same thing
else.
because didn't Magneto pull the iron from the guy and made bullet?
Yeah,
made
but
balls?
you probably like heat it up and it becomes like Z3H4 or something.
Yeah,
I don't need to get in these metallurgy conversations on the podcast.
Well, yeah,
HCR 13 MOV.
it's a great time to stock up on toilet paper, canned foods, your masks, rubbing alcohol, all the essentials to survive a pandemic away
Yeah.
from the grocery store. Get your canned meats, everything like that.
I hate potted meats.
I like potted chicken. Have you guys had a canned chicken? It's pretty
I
fucking
got
good.
the entire whole chicken in a can.
Well, it's a can about
Like the tuna can chicken
8 in, yeah.
No, but they have a whole chicken you can buy in a can.
Yeah.
with bones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just comes out and goes,
Is it in the like, a
and it has a
gelatin?
jello around it. It's like the fat congealed around it.
Gross.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, so
So it has a dick on it too, I think. Chicken dick.
Gross.
That's
chicken
a-
dick of the
wait, wait.
sea. So
Chicken doesn't have a dick, does it?
I don't know.
It's a rooster.
Cocks have cocks.
Oh, have you seen the squirrel dick?
No, Thomas, I have not.
have you seen the bull dick? Or a pig dick for that matter?
A
Some
turtle
animal
dick.
I have seen that.
turtle
That's
dicks are
something
like
else.
really crazy. They
It's
can
like,
curve it
It's like
left to
it's got
right.
it's like a spade.
Yeah. It's like that dinosaur with the 2 balls in the tail.
I did see
What
a,
is this? What is it called?
yeah. I did see a horse. I did see a horse standing out in the field the other day with his legs spread really far apart, and he had a huge penis just hanging
It's like
down.
a pepper mill.
It was like it was like he got into this stance because it felt good,
You're
and
like,
then
"Oh, fuck."
as I was driving by, it was slapping the belly of his.
I was just,
He was flexing it, and it was fucking slapping the bottom of
he was
his
just,
chest.
He was killing flies. He was just killing flies.
I was just, what's life like? You know?
All right. So religious cults. Now that we have covered that,
Yeah. So we've
the
got
hard-hitting issues.
we've got 2 religious cults for you.
Pepper
We've
mill
got
dick.
what's they're called the Freedomites, aka
The Sons of Freedom.
okay, and we have Chris has graciously found this one for us. Movement for the Restoration of the 10 Commandments of God. It's a mouthful. It's an African cult, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
So
They're from Uganda.
2 cults up on the chopping block today. Let's dive into it. We're going to start out with the Freedomites, a.k.a.
Sons of Freedom.
Sons of Freedom.
Yeah. The Freedomites are actually a group that fled from Russia in the early 1900s because of religious persecution. And they came over to British Columbia and Canada, whatever, same thing. And they made their own community. They also fled because Russia sucks.
Russia does suck. Eats boot soup, I think is what they have over there, right?
Boot soup.
It doesn't suck if you're wealthy over there.
Right, but they were not
yeah.
wealthy.
Russia looks fun, man.
It does look
If
fun
you're part of the
you've got-
KGB and you
Like,
blow with
have you
Putin.
seen people drive just day to day in Russia?
Yeah, they're like drifting in snow around cars.
Or have you seen people drinking in Russia? Like these guys are getting smashed on vodka, and as a drinking game, this guy just throws a log at his buddy's head.
Have you seen the slap fights? The slap
like the
fights
Wild
are
West.
nuts. You've seen slap
just
fights.
fucking-
They square up. Wham!
Yeah.
One guy gets
Oh,
knocked
yeah.
out.
But
Yeah.
what one guy cheats though and uses the palm of his hand like a fist.
Oh.
And connects like that. It's cheating. Fucking
Russia
dirty.
Russia
Yeah.
looks fun, but it looks terrible if you're not on a certain scale.
It looks like a rough place.
It turns into Rambo 3 when you're in prison.
If you can afford vodka, it's a good place.
Negative 38 too over
Serbia.
there in the wintertime.
Right. So these Freedomites, they fled into Canada, and they started to, build their own communities with their own religious beliefs, where, they thought that their own property, money, and wealth was not that big of a deal. And they also kind of rubbed the Canadian government the wrong way because they didn't want themselves or their children being involved with the government, the schools, or that sort of system. They wanted to be left to themselves, more or less. So they were also called, what's that starts with a D? I can't say that word. Dunder. They made two different communities.
Oh yeah,
in
it was,
Canada.
like Duke Harbor.
Yeah, Doukhobors.
Yeah,
So when they got to Canada, they split into the Doukhobors, which were the more peaceful, prominent ones, and the Freedomites, or the Sons of Freedom, which were the more radical, anti-government ones.
the crazies.
Did they call on each other for certain times? Like, did they work together?
Yeah, they still lived in the same communities, but the Canadian people lumped them all in together because they were semi-racist towards them.
Oh yeah, big time.
They persecuted them just because of their differences.
Wait, I thought they were white.
Yeah, they were both white, but religious beliefs in the 1920s.
Oh,
They
so it's
refused
like back
to-
in the day you didn't care for mix.
They refused
Right.
to conform to the Canadian way.
Right.
Yeah, it's that constant of like, if you don't believe what we believe, then you must be
And,
bad.
There's a note I have here about that. The government of Canada has not apologized because they're not responsible for what the government did 50 years ago.
That makes sense.
Yes.
They haven't
I mean, that's
apologized
just
for killing Native
respirations.
Americans either.
Yeah, we're
They,
not,
they did that too?
Oh yeah.
we're not
It's not
sorry
like-
about that, Dave.
I know that.
The Indians never went above the border.
I know when it said America, it stops at the Niagara Falls. Anything
Indians.
above that never.
Never genocided those guys.
That's you're talking about.
Who the Spanish is who was problematic in America, right?
Well, I mean, if you consider
Hey,
blankets,
leave us out of it, man. And mono.
they weren't that kind of Spanish.
Indians stopped at the Yucatan and they stopped at Niagara Falls. I
They never went to Mexico, and they never went to California.
don't know what you're talking
I
about.
feel like this is
Know your
appropriate.
fucking place, trash.
Wait, that is kind of weird. Are there any Native Americans in California?
They were.
Yeah, Navajo.
Not now.
They were called Mexicans.
I think they're in L.A.
We
now. They're the
stole it
homeless
from
people.
them.
I thought. Well, there's Skinwalker Ranch. That's like a
The Navajo and all that stuff.
that is an
That's in like
Indian.
Nevada, though,
Dude,
right?
like Washington has 3 different groups of Indians.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Oh yeah, they went north. They got pushed out
And they
of
got
California.
pushed out like that, and I guess eventually they went to Alaska.
The
Talking
Inuit.
about
right?
Eskimos?
The Inuit.
No,
Can't say Eskimo, man.
Sure, you can. That's not racist yet.
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Trail of Tears, man. Just follow them.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
tear. I thought it was Trail of Tears.
Probably was to a
Just a
degree.
record scratch on that one.
The Trail of Terrorists. Well, this group of people, especially the more radical, the Sons of Freedom, they would often protest in the nude to try to get their point across. So they would
That'll do it.
go to government buildings, schools around town, and hold up signs and just, we don't like this, and be naked just to get noticed.
They probably had dick dandruff.
Did you see any of these naked photos?
I didn't look up the naked photos,
I
other than
did.
the one Chris sent.
I did.
I sent a picture.
There's one right here. It's pretty grisly.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
the
they're
one.
just like walking with dicks out, tits out.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I saw a cartoon.
Oh yeah, I sent that feminist, not a freedom.
This is a real photo right here.
I
So
saw
what
the
year was
cartoon
this?
drawings.
1920s, 1930s. And
Yeah, they
they're-
fled Russia in the early 1900s. They settled in Canada, and throughout the 1920s until present day, they're still around.
But they probably still don't. They probably don't do the nude protesting still to this day.
No, they still
It's
do.
too cold up there.
Really?
They still do, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they believe
It's part of their culture.
it's imperfect to wear clothing.
Right. Because of their
No,
because
Adam
of
and
their
Eve
religion.
believe that too.
What
Well,
religion says that you
Adam
can
and
never wear
Eve.
clothes?
Well, they're anti-property, anti-government. Pretty much be selfless is their way of life.
Technically, Christianity says we weren't supposed to wear clothes, but
Yeah.
They're
Now-
considered folk Protestant.
But that was part of the old covenant.
yes,
What was that?
Folk Protestant.
Okay.
It's similar to that.
Yeah, I read a thing that they said that wearing clothes were made by humans, and humans are imperfect, so they shed their clothes in protest to show their perfect bodies made by God.
Should I shed my skin?
let me see your perfect
Are you a
body,
snake?
Chris.
Well, it sounds like
Are
my
you a
body's
fucking
not
snake?
imperfect,
Yeah, because God made you.
so I should cut my skin off.
No, because then you would be
Did you make your skin? No,
No,
that's your godly given skin.
Their doctrinal justification for nudity was that the skin was God's creation.
Yeah.
And it was more perfect than clothes.
Yeah, because man made clothes, and
Yeah.
man's imperfect.
Yes, you're given that by God. You're probably
So
not.
God gave you your skin.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what if you took someone else's skin and wore it?
that would be not. That would be bad.
you'd be perfect. No,
Would you still
perfect.
be perfect, just someone else's form
So-
of perfect?
It would be like
Wait, wait,
skinning a deer and wearing
So
deer skin.
They don't think animals are perfect.
Animals were made by God, and they don't wear clothes.
Yeah, but I can wear animal.
You're making clothes out of the animal.
I think
which
it
is
was one
bad.
of those. They wore clothes to survive, not for fashion.
Did they at least wear like sheaths?
It's because it was made by human hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They stitched it together.
So you're
Yeah.
telling me that these guys were free balling it in Canada
Yeah.
year round?
you're supposed to freeze to death.
They wore clothes as needed for survival, but for the most part, they were whatever.
They're like, well, we need to wear this to live.
Right. I mean, they weren't like totally outside the realm of reason.
They're just their rules were.
But they'll always be naked when they did arson.
Yes.
That sounds like that's the right way to do it. Warm.
Yeah.
Get your body next to the fire.
And they
Yes.
use the dick dandruff as kindle.
Man, that's gonna be bad. You ever
That's a
catch?
big
You ever
dick
catch
driver.
part of your beard in the
They just got this.
like where you're grilling?
and just use that.
You ever like
Tree
do your
shavings.
eyebrows or something? Get your arm skin off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine scorching your nuts?
Dude, that's bad.
That would be terrible.
Think about how witches were doing it, man. They had the bush out and everything,
Witches?
dancing around the fire.
Was this Old Salem?
The fuck are we talking about? Was it the Crucible?
I'm just bringing up someone else that may have danced naked around a fire.
You've never danced naked around a fire?
Nope.
Yeah,
either.
not in a way where like the fire's licking your butt.
It's like this. It's like licking. It's like a little flare. It's like
It's like, woo!
you're like, I'm alive, baby. I felt that. Your nuts fucking damaged, third-degree burn. You can't get stiffy no more. Goddamn comes like cheese.
My God. So yeah, they were a very naked belief, and they were also known to protest by burning their material possessions, government buildings.
That cat.
That was Thomas's
That was
throat.
me. They also were known to burn their own money and government buildings.
Doesn't make any sense. How do you acquire money just to burn it?
It just showed that they were anti-materials.
They work at
I'm
Starbucks.
so hardcore. I bought a house just to burn it down.
They would work at Starbucks and then burn their check.
Yeah, so the main thing that separated them from the Canadian government was they would homeschool their kids instead of sending them to the public schools and government-ran schools because they thought they would brainwash their children and make them have, like, different beliefs.
Were they anti-vaxxers as well?
Probably.
There's also land registration too.
Oh,
What's that?
Land registration.
Oh, they were against land registration?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that's part of anti-government.
What does that mean?
You can't tax them.
Oh,
If they don't want to claim, you can't register their land.
it's like them people that's like, I'm a free person.
Yeah. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm standing on this land. I claim the land.
They were pretty much a thorn in the government's side, is what they were.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
Yeah,
That's
they
what they're pretty much trying to do.
The Nazis would have killed them if they were a burden on the state.
well, they had a good bit of run-ins with the Canadian Mounted Police.
The Mounties?
Yes. Yep.
They had a bunch of run-ins with them. Like the police actually captured a few of them and stuff like that.
Oh, sorry, my horse stomped you, eh?
Mountie brutality?
We'll get to that later.
I
though.
can't control my horse, eh?
That's
You're
later on.
If you're in
Is
front
that,
or
is that Hispanic?
it's an A.
Jose.
If you're in front or behind, I can't control
I'm
him.
sorry. I can't see but in front of me.
Well, in 1958, this is where the height of the Sons of Freedom kind of comes out.
58.
So 1958,
Yeah.
there were 2 bombings at the Oliver Post Office.
How'd they smuggle the bomb in?
They made bombs.
Think about it.
They were naked.
Okay, this happened at like
They're like
The bush concealed it.
They were pipe
pulling
bombs,
it out of
man.
its ass.
They were pipe bombs.
no, they
Cylinders.
they made
That's a mighty big dick you have there, or is that their ass?
It's up their ass.
20,
cock
20
sleeve.
naked
Or their
people-
vagina.
20 naked people come into your post office. They all
pull
bend
shirt.
over.
They use the women as smugglers just up their
They can hold
vaginas.
two. They can hold two. Yeah.
well, this was before the post office was open. This was at
DB,
like 4
double
a.m.
Bumps. Yeah.
So it's like 4 a.m. Nobody was at the post office. They set off 2 bombs there. Nobody got hurt, but it damaged the post office extensively and blew out the windows to a couple buildings nearby.
Oh, we're going to need 2 weeks to get the mail out.
There was also another report that police had actually found a site where they were making the bombs, and Philip Airsoft, I don't know. He was one of the reasons why the police got there, because they called them after the device exploded and launched him 20 feet away.
How did they?
He survived?
I don't think so.
So how did they find? Did they just find like a pile of clothes and some bomb making materials, and they linked all these people?
Sounds like that
Well,
cop. They just found a thing of mush.
Well, they found the site and the people making the bombs because it blew this guy up, and people were like, "Hey, there's an explosion," and they're like, "Oh, okay,
that
I guess we'll
sounded
go there."
Hispanic. That one did.
Hey, they got a fucking bomb.
Hey, they got the explosion.
Hey, there's an
Hello.
explosion over there.
Sorry over here. We got a bomb over here.
That's a lazy Canadian.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
I can't hear you.
I'm
Hey,
sorry, there's an explosion over
Hey,
there.
Sorry, Mano.
So yeah, they found that. They along in this time from 1958, they had multiple reports of arson where they even burned down their own homes and other homes of the Devob Creek or
Dobrick.
Dobrick.
Just made that up.
Dobrick. So yeah, they burnt down their own homes while naked
As a protest.
as a protest. They burnt their own clothes, their own materials, their furniture.
They don't need any possessions.
They don't need it. And also, there was a report that in 1961 they blew up a railway bridge.
Nice.
But again, nobody got hurt.
I'm imagining they did it in spectacular fashion.
Yeah,
Like the train's coming.
so here it
They've
goes,
got it
guys.
down there. The train's coming by. The explosion goes off. The naked dude backflips.
I just think it's funny they burned everything, and then winter comes, and they're like, I'm a little cold. I'm going to go now. Backs out slowly.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how they were, and that was just part of their religion, I guess. But the Sons of Freedom, they kind of fizzled out after all this because the police ended up cracking down on them hardcore.
Just cracking their heads open.
Yeah.
Stop being dumb, eh?
Send your kids to school, eh?
Wear clothes, you normal wank.
You normal
Your
way.
nipple hair, eh?
You're not normal.
Wasn't there something where they like captured 50 children or something? The mounted police captured 50.
Yeah, that was Operation Snatch.
What was that?
The police did this, or the
Yeah, the Royal Mounted Police.
okay?
The Canadian Mounted Police, sorry, is their proper name. Give them due. But it was between 1953 and 59. They successfully, I guess you can say, captured 200 children of the Sons of Freedom and just took them from the settlement.
I bet they just offered them sweaters and stuff.
No, they just raided. They just came in and took them.
Oh,
But it was actually an Operation Christova, in which they actually went into the Sons of Freedom's stronghold. I'll use that word loosely.
Yeah. You make it sound like Al
Yeah.
Qaeda's cave system.
It's a community.
These were pretty much the roots of Taliban. Pretty sure.
The globalists.
But in my mind, I'm just imagining these people that look like druids, and you got guys
Yeah,
on
man.
these horses just running through. You know those scenes in movies where it's like cowboys ready to encampment, Indians just run through and just
Yeah.
slaughter
Oh, yeah,
and steal all the
it's-
so
women
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
a bunch of naked people hiding in redwoods as guys threw on horses.
on red horses and steal the kids. They just come by and just grab kids and run off with them.
They just come out and just throw nets on everybody and just drag them out.
It's like the scene from George of the Jungle when they're catching the gorillas.
So they
which is a Brendan Fraser reference because he was in George of the Jungle,
Right?
and he was in Dudley Do Right,
Yep.
which he was a
Mountie.
Mountie,
And he was in the Mummy.
and he was in the goddamn Mummy.
So the government said that these kids are in danger, so they went in
because
and
they're
took 'em.
they're not getting education. That's what they're worried about.
and they don't
earlier.
have clothes on.
Yeah, because they're illiterate. They're not learning nothing. They only speak broken Russian.
Yeah.
Oh, they speak Russian?
Yeah, they never. They,
I thought they were like.
refuse to conform to Canadian
Oh,
way of
I
life.
thought maybe they were just coming in like, oi.
No, they just break.
No, they're
Hey.
Oh, so they're just in there like, oh, pretty.
that a Russian A?
I don't know what it was.
Hey.
Just that never happened.
We can't do a Russian Canadian accent.
die, eh?
So pretty much it was like Thomas, what we were talking earlier. It's just a back and forth. The main thing the Canadians want to do was make sure the kids were going to a government school and getting a proper education.
Right.
But they went about it probably the worst way possible.
Abduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they abducted the kids.
They stole the kids and
And-
most likely put them in an orphanage and made them learn.
yeah, and so the
Made money
people-
off of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Sold
the
'em.
people today, that's what they're pissed off. They're like they never apologized for just.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Canadians were like, "Hey, you just came to our country and just took over this section of land,
And they're just
and
like,
we're
yeah.
not paying taxes. We're not going to your schools. We're not doing this shit."
Yeah. I think to this day they have that own community and it's kind of like a mutual understanding.
Kind of like how we don't mess with Amish people.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
they're-
don't have their own reservation.
Right.
I mean, the Mormons are kind of like that. They don't pay taxes. They have a huge plot of land.
And they even went to Mexico.
There's the Mormons out in Mexico
That's
that
what I'm
got shot up
They got
a while
slaughtered.
back.
Mitt Romney's more Mexican than I'll ever be.
It was like a fucking convoy out there that got shot up. There's
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, it's just cultish tactics, right? You just squat on a plot of land, build a
But you
fucking
don't
fortress.
squat on the fucking
Someone's chest.
cartel's land.
No,
Oh, you're talking about Mexico. I just meant like every cult pretty
Oh,
much
yeah.
just assumes that they are given this by God, this plot of land. They don't need to pay the government taxes, and their followers have a place to live. I mean, this sounds like cult tactics.
That's just because it's cheaper just to go in and say, this is mine now.
Yeah,
It's just the cheap way.
it's almost like they know how the system works.
I mean, I guess churches don't pay taxes, so it makes sense for them guys not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was the 50s at
Yeah.
this point. 50s going into the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's probably a new way of running things.
Did
like,
they become hippies?
I don't know. I don't.
They're just a peaceful people now.
You just
The Sons of Freedom, the extremist group, died off.
Mm.
So all that was left was the more passive.
They kept blowing themselves up.
Yeah, they got caught on fire, and the
Are they-
police finally caught them all.
Are
so.
they waiting in the shadows to strike again?
I don't think they actually have a leader either. I think it's more just like a small group of people that just.
Are they still?
council,
Are
yeah.
they still naked?
I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They still practice everything. Anti-government, all that stuff.
Once you go numb, you can't feel nothing.
I guess so.
It's kind of like the people that like say they can see ghosts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not real, but they still practice it anyways.
No, it's real.
I mean, it's real enough to get money out of.
Yeah.
It's like Wiccan. Like it's not real, but they still get 5 people get together on Wednesday nights and practice.
Yeah. It's like this podcast. It's not real, but we still get together every Monday night and record for everybody.
I just want to briefly mention the Mountain Institution, which is a byproduct of the Sons of Freedom.
Okay,
Okay.
It was a prison that was created to hold the Sons of Freedom.
so they had to make a naked prison.
The government made
The
this
government made a
place
prison.
to
And
hide
because-
them.
Because the MO of the Sons of Freedom was to burn things, they made the entire prison out of metal.
Okay, but how would they burn it down? How would they,
They can't burn it down.
anything if
They
they
can't.
didn't give them the ability to burn?
Well,
stuff?
Well, you ever done Indian
You ever
burn
thought
on your
about
arm?
pyrokinesis?
Chris?
Is it like they power up by burning shit down?
I'll give you $100 if you can light yourself on fire by rubbing yourself that
Yeah,
hard.
have you ever rubbed 2 sticks together? 2 dicks.
You ever
sticks.
jacked off
2
so
dicks.
much without any lube that it gave yourself
There's a
a
lot of
scab?
friction. All you gotta do is have one of those guys flake off some of the Parmesan dandruff on there, and you just rub your dick hard, and you get some of that heat going, and it
Use
catches
it
on
as
fire.
kindling.
Yeah.
There you go.
$100 on the table, Chris.
Anyway, it's a regular prison now. It's a federal
Yeah.
prison. But back in 2008, they had a riot break out because the inmates had enough of the warden.
The mates?
The inmates apparently had power.
Oh, I thought you said the N8s. I was like,
The
what?
innate, they were innate Yeah, they were.
You said inmates, and I heard you wrong. My
Were
bad.
these still Freedomites?
No, this is regular prisoners because it actually became like a isolated prison where you send sex offenders and violent criminals and stuff because they had segregated rooms, so you can actually put people in isolation.
Segregated.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The warden turned the number of visitors you can have from 250 down to 50, and the prisoners were like, "We can't handle this," so they started a riot. They ended up killing a child pornographer. He was beaten to death with baseball bats in his cell.
Okay, that's not the worst
It
thing they
feels
could
like
have done.
that was targeted. We got to kill somebody, but which guy?
Yeah.
And then they all just pointed to that guy. And
He's the guy with CP. Let's do it.
This broke out. This broke out on the night of March 29th, 2008. It killed 2 inmates and left 11 inmates hospitalized.
Oh.
The hospitalized inmates had overdosed on methadone. They killed the child pornographer with baseball bats while he was in his cell.
Nice.
The second guy died because he had 200 milliliters of 175 milligrams of methadone. It was the first time he ever tried it, and it was the last time he ever tried it.
They were like, try this during the breakout, or what happened?
Yeah, that's what I said. They broke into the medical healthcare area and was like, "Hell, there's fucking methadone here,"
Meth party!
They just got high as fuck, man.
and then beat the other guy. I don't know where they got the baseball bats from, but apparently that guy just
Yeah, this was not about the visitor restrictions. This was about getting drugs and killing the child porn guy. Like, let's make a old baseball bat out of this thing.
But this is not
whack
the
his skull in and get fucking high.
So
Get
they
some
got high on
zingers.
methadone. They killed the guy with the baseball bat. The other dude died because it was his first time and last time. And then they also there's a history of child sex people getting murdered in this prison.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. And the warden is actually making efforts to improve the overall function of the prison. And
Okay. He raised the visitors back up to 250.
yeah, 30 inmates remain peaceful in this entire raid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're always going to have the ones that follow the rules.
So it was like 15 inmates just was like, fuck it, let's get high and kill this guy. I thought it was an interesting story.
That's
It was
pretty good.
loosely tied to the
yeah,
Freedomites, but
It's pretty cool.
yeah, man.
well,
Not the Fendomites.
The Fendomites, the Femist.
The feminist.
next up we got the movement for the restoration of the 10 Commandments of God. Chris planted
Yep.
this seed on us. And
Why don't we just call them the
RTCs.
the movement?
the MFT ROT
Let's call them the Gungans.
TCODG.
I don't think you can say that.
We're going to call them the cogs, the commandments of God.
There we go. The
It's a
cons.
sex of forbidden in this soap.
Yes. That's why they ended up dying.
So this was primarily this was an African cult.
in Uganda.
Yeah, Uganda, started by a man named Mr. Kibweeder.
His first name
What
was
the
Joseph.
fuck was
Yeah.
that?
His first name was
Kibweeder.
Joseph.
Yeah, his first name was
You
Joseph.
can just call him Joe.
I'm going to call him Kibble.
What about his buddy Christian de Mirshawal?
There's some confusing
I
names.
thought it was Credonia.
No, that was a woman
Nice
too.
times. Good.
That was. I want to say that the other one was named Ursula.
It says Virgin Mary here. What's that about?
That was a cult. That was another cult believed that
You say the Roman Catholics are a cult?
Dude,
they believed the Virgin. They worshipped the Virgin Mary. Those 3 women
Okay.
that came to him.
look, there's a fourth person mentioned in the Wikipedia, and they're called B-Taint.
I think it says BT.
I'm going to attempt to say these 3 women's full names. I'm going
B-Tank.
to
All right,
attempt.
yeah. You gotta say all of them.
All right, Credonia Marindi.
Oh wait, hold on. Start over.
All right,
Fred the Pop.
Credonia Marindi, Ursula Kamuhangi, and Angela Mugisha. I nailed it.
Solid.
All right,
That's good, eh?
But we have to start at the beginning. This basically started in 1989. They believed the world would end in 1999. They believed that everyone would be exterminated except for them.
Yep.
What happened?
I thought I heard something go, oh.
Really?
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it, but
Anyway. Sorry.
we could definitely go back and listen to this after the podcast.
Yeah.
They believed that they would be alive and stay. Nope. I'm sorry. They believed everyone would be exterminated. on that day while themselves would be transported to heaven. And then you're right, their leader Joseph, I'm not going to continue to say his last name because I can't literally say it, proclaimed that he overheard a conversation between Jesus and the Virgin Mary. And I just want to stop and think about that. Like, how did he overhear the conversation? Was he like a waiter?
Well,
No, he was a pastor.
And they were having a meal at a local diner, and he heard Jesus and Mary having a fucking conversation?
No, okay, so this guy, Joseph, I don't know if he was a pastor. He was a Ugandan politician, and he was very strong in the Catholic Church. And then he met Credonia, a woman who was a prostitute, who said she had visions of the Virgin Mary. And they got to talking, and he believed her.
He met the three women together. They came to him after church service.
Right.
Can you imagine having sex with that?
with what?
What, the Ugandan Virgin Mary?
I feel like this is like ASMR as well. Like, you making a lot of noises with that mouth right now.
Imagine having sex with this.
Imagine having sex with the hairy, humid prostitute in Uganda.
Hairy?
Well, this is peak AIDS epidemic too.
Right.
There's some risk involved. I like that.
I mean, in the same timeline, there's a Ugandan bush war happening.
Yes, Uganda was not in a good spot right now.
Okay, so you have a bush war in Uganda and a bush war in the sheets.
We had a bush war all around.
I still want to know the details about that conversation he overheard between Jesus and Virgin Mary.
They're in Uganda, you know.
Oh, yeah.
She's just like, Jesus, do you know the way?
Do you know?
I feel like he was hiding behind a brick wall, and then third-person camera, you got Virgin Mary and Jesus on the other side of the wall, and he's listening in like he's spying.
Come over here. We got a secret for you.
All serving like that paste they eat in a fucking leaf. Is that what they eat?
Tripping on some black tar hair.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like smoke everywhere, and it's just like
They smoke and they're eating like runny grits out of a giant leaf. That's what I imagine they're doing.
This is the shit that he told his followers.
He's like
though.
licking a frog.
Yeah, trying to make darts out of them.
This is the shit he told his followers, though, and his followers was like, "Oh,
we love
yeah,
it. We love
yeah,
it.
we'll believe you." So we've mentioned the three women that came to him, and they were actually they were already leaders of a Christian cult devoted to the Virgin Mary, and they said that the Virgin Mary had instructed him to take them in. So he said yes, and they hung out for a while, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And it got kind of wild, I think. He was married too, and his wife hated this because the more followers they brought in, the more abuse the family endured from other followers that were taking advantage of them, that were saying stuff like, "I was told to take your food. I was told to take your clothes by Jesus."
Whoa, thou shalt not steal, though.
I'm not for sure if you can say that if you say, "I was told by Jesus to do this," though.
Well, I looked a little bit further into the beliefs, though, and I see the loophole.
What is the loophole?
So, the eighth commandment about
What?
like bearing false witness.
Oh, okay.
So they get by it by using sign language.
Right. So,
Right. Because they followed the 10 Commandments so hard and so literal that they would actually not speak.
No, they
to
had
each
their
other.
own loopholes, kind of like Catholic people do.
Right. So instead of talking, they would just do sign language and other stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I did read that as well.
That's crazy. That's why I was laughing, because they're like ripping people off in sign language, like
Who taught them sign language?
They learned it themselves. They're
British
Ugandan.
people.
Oh, yeah.
They also claim they're Jews too, but we'll go there.
You didn't know they were?
No.
Nope.
I think it's funny that
Everybody claims to be Jews.
they did not believe in having sex, even if you were married. For some reason, I don't know why.
AIDS.
And soap.
That was a...
Lack of.
That's more of a cult control thing. Like, if they can make everybody, like, hyped up by not having sex, they can control you more. Because it just makes your brain foggy.
I don't know. You know, Joseph Kiboitri, he was probably like with everybody.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't say that though.
Well,
I looked and looked and looked.
You got to
No.
read between the lines.
The cult leaders are
tried.
always getting...
I
they're
know.
always
I
getting
know.
it.
I just didn't see that. I didn't see that like accusation in this cult.
You know, him and B Taint were always doing it.
B-Taint.
I looked.
Taint.
Yeah, those two maybe. I mean,
Yeah. And then Credonia, she was a prostitute. You know.
with B-taint.
You know.
I'm sure. I just couldn't find it. I looked so fucking hard. I looked for pictures and videos and writing, and I couldn't find it.
Like, you were a prostitute.
And I know it happened. I know it happened because I know people that take huge power normally take advantage of that power.
Was Credonia like his Mary Magdalene?
That's what I was thinking. It's like a parallel. She's like,
Yeah,
how do I get out of being a prostitute? I can
Yeah.
be Mary Magdalene.
To be the muse to Joseph.
Oh, well, she probably also saw the money signs. She got those money signs in her eyes, and
Right.
yeah, that was probably more money in this than actual
Do you
prostitution.
think she actually had like dollar symbols, or they have whatever their currency sign is?
Oh, she probably shaved it into her eyebrows.
Okay.
All like the little like copper pennies and
Whatever. Leaves,
silver shillings. Leaves.
rocks, rupees.
You
what do they have over there?
You got a banana leaf. That's worth 10 shillings.
Dude, they get dressed
10
up. Have,
lashings.
have you seen that
They're
video?
called shillings.
What, coming
Oh,
to
they're
America?
shillings.
Well, you've seen the video where the
Silver
guys are
coins.
like,
Oh, the coffin dance?
yeah, the coffin dance.
Yeah.
Those people get dressed up.
Yeah.
So I imagine they probably got pretty decked out. This was the 90s almost. So
That's pretty hot as fuck.
what?
$1 is 3,735 shillings.
You're rich.
How much is a house in shillings?
53.
Billions.
Whoa.
53,000.
You could go over there and you could live like a.
We could live like kings over there.
Yeah.
But we would also be killed instantly for
We'd be
our
eaten
king,
alive.
for our money.
Yeah.
We would get killed by the bugs and animals.
You would have to invest so much money to fortify your house to
You
keep
ever,
them away that
you
you
ever seen
spend it all.
Green Inferno?
No.
The Eli Roth movie where it's
No.
crashing Amazon and getting eaten alive.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Is that the one where they get put on stakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody gets put in a
And that's the
cage
one
and
where
all
they
that.
were like, we aren't for sure if this is real or not. So then they had to like bring all the actors in to show they were still
Oh,
alive.
that's Cannibal Holocaust, but same
Oh,
idea.
okay.
Man, it's been a long time since I saw that.
That's what happened to go there. It's
Bring 'em
just
back.
everything's a little darker in that area.
So did you guys actually? They have a Bible.
Literally.
It's only 163 pages.
Oh, that's like a novella.
They call it. They actually call it a manifesto.
I've read R.L. Stein stories over longer.
They probably got the ideas from him.
So it's like, is it?
Is a choose your own adventure
So
book?
is it like
be white,
a
no, you
condensed
black.
Bible, or is it?
No, it's nothing to do with our current Bible.
Okay.
It's just ideas and visions from Mr. Kibblewhite. It's devoted to the revelations of Mr. Kibble.
Oh, so this is like Ugandan Mormons.
And he created it.
I'm starting to get it now. Maybe he heard of Mormonism. He's like, yo, I can do this too.
How?
Yeah, I mean, his name is Joseph.
You know, instead of
Like a wooden boat carried a message over to Uganda?
no, and like
All
how
this-
Joseph Smith found plates in a desert. This guy
Oh.
found a prostitute in like
Yeah.
a hill.
Well,
Speaking-
Okay.
They
Gotcha.
did refer to themselves as the Noah's Ark.
That's what they considered their
Their end time
their
group.
their place
It's
where
probably
they
true.
lived.
The Ark of the Covenant's in Africa, so
Yeah. So they thought they were going to be the ones to transcend once January 1st, 2000 hit.
Well, see,
They were the original Y2K.
It was like
well,
pre-Y2K.
1999 was the first one, and then they pushed it back to 2000.
I thought it was December 31st, 1999.
The first one was, yes. Then it didn't happen, and they pushed it back.
Right.
Yeah. So they were like, "Whoopsie, we made a whoopsie, clerical error. Sorry, it's
Right.
this
We made
day."
a whoopsie.
They forgot to carry the two. I got you. It's
Yeah.
easy.
They had another vision, which said it was going to be in March.
But Chris, it wouldn't surprise me because, like, out of the millions that live in Africa at the time, somebody's got to have an idea of like, I can make money at this. I can take advantage of people because these people would give over everything they had.
Yeah, it's
to
either
become-
that or be a warlord. So
I wonder if Coney knew about this because he would be a child during this time.
possibly.
Probably.
Look at these bastards.
It's weird. They in their manifesto they talk about Japan will have rain falling for as long as my father wants, and Mozambique,
and then
which is in
Fukushima happened.
Mozambique?
Mozambique. Mozambique?
Maybe this guy's right, dude.
It is Mozambique.
Mozambique. What is this?
Mozambique will be destroyed by its own machinery. What happens in that country? That's
Stays in that country.
Zombies.
what's machinery though? What happens there? Are they a country that
I will find
produces
out,
lots
but-
of stuff?
It's just a bunch of two-cycle
I imagine
engines
it's like a
that
bunch
nobody
of
can-
Russian like oligarchs, whatever it is, like taking over the country.
Olive
like,
Garden?
I like where you're going with this, though. First, they predicted the Fukushima reactor.
Sure.
I-
Japan will have rainfalling for as long as my father wants.
Godzilla.
Oh, never mind. I was looking at the Mozambique drill, and that's a shooting technique.
You're thinking it was a huge like earth drill. Yeah. So you, as a new member, you had to read the manifesto.
Right.
And each, you had 3 levels as a cult follower.
Oh, so this is like baby Scientology.
Yes,
You can only afford 3 levels in Africa.
or the white sneakers,
The white sneakers.
and the purple outfits, like the L.A. cult.
Wait, were they wearing white sneakers?
Not this one.
They were wearing Air Force Ones.
Yeah, pumped up kicks.
Nikes. No,
Nikes.
the cult in L.A. that killed themselves that was going to hop on Haley's Comet. That's the one I'm talking about. They wore white Nikes, but they still had a dress code. That's what I'm talking about here. This cult had 3 levels as a cult member. The first level, you had to read the manifesto and practice to a certain amount till you gained enough knowledge.
All right, so you had level 1 where you had to read the manifesto.
Yeah, and they wore a certain color of clothing.
Okay.
Level 2, you got to wear a different level of clothing, and you were a certain level in the cult. And then level 3, you wore something else.
Like the highest garb.
Yep, like level 2 was full green, level 3 was a white top and green pants, and then like level 1, you wore purple.
Yeah. So you were distinguished.
You were walking around
Right.
in there, you were like either a plebe or you were a fucking king.
That way they could tell if you were a Padawan or a Jedi.
I mean, yeah, they had levels, and you were probably treated like shit at the bottom because they lived on their own compound. These people gave everything. They sold their houses, sold everything, gave it to the church, just like what Jim Jones did with his followers.
Right.
So these people gave everything, and they had nothing at the same time. So when you went there, you had to work at the church, keep it going, keep it floating, feed people, and then the people at the top were taking advantage of the people at the bottom. That's just hazing in a
pyramid
nutshell.
scheme.
Triple
Like
up,
Scientology.
trickle up economics.
Yes. I don't understand how people can have such, I guess, faith or
It's probably people who are like
Had nothing.
nothing. Yeah, sense of belonging.
Like it's that,
Oh.
or
People
you
give you-
join a warlord and
true. So it's like,
Munch on
Okay.
drugs all day.
community, sense of community. And you're like,
so
oh, people
we're
actually
saying
like being with me.
we're saying they gave up all their belongings, but they didn't really have anything to give up anyways. Maybe like
Probably.
one cow.
Their
It
butt.
was like everything they had inherited from past generations, these people held on to.
Give up that ass.
That probably too. But so yes, they were
I will
giving up.
give you my AIDS.
I mean, they
If you didn't have AIDS, you probably got in real easy.
Yeah.
their belongings still went a long way. You know, like it was something to the church. It was all they had. And you're right, like Alex was saying, it's a sense of belonging. They had
community.
nothing to belong to or to begin with. So having this stuff provided to them for just a little work was
Yeah.
better than what they probably were getting already.
And I
So-
guess the thought of being on Noah's Ark is like, man, in like 10 years we'll be on a cruise to space,
well,
to heaven.
they definitely had a goal. And that's what
Have a headache now.
that's what the 1999 thing was.
Who the
They-
fuck's Noah?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Who the fuck is Noah?
I mean, that would be, we could go to some parts
Who I do?
of the world, and if we could get the message across to them in their language, we could fucking
yeah.
have our own religion, and we could build an audience just like Jim Jones did, and we could basically lead people down a path that we create for them.
That's what Jared Leto's doing, right?
It is.
Yes, it's working.
It's crazy though that he is still like allowed to be social with his friends that are like celebrities in
They're normal.
Hollywood.
It's like you can pay $1,000 to go to his island and like have dinner with him.
Dude, I would definitely like to do that, but not pay for that.
You're gonna get there,
He's
and
dressed
then
like Joker from Suicide Squad.
you're like
I don't know about that.
your attendant that brought you to the island is gonna walk away, and then you're gonna be left in a cold, quiet room with Jared Leto.
Being all fucking weird, wearing a suit too small for him.
Sit with me, child. Sit with me,
He just needs to eat a steak and he'll be all right.
child. Sit beside me.
That was kind of creepy.
Because he's wearing all white. He's dressed like normal Jared Leto, but he forgot to
Right.
take his grills out.
And you're like, okay.
All right.
And he still has a smiley face on his hand. He's
And
like,
it was actually a real tattoo.
Are you hungry, child?
let me feed you.
You must kiss me. Kiss my knuckles first.
My penis is erect.
Nice.
Kiss my fingers. And then he brings out a harem of like young girls.
Questionably aged.
How young?
You
How
don't
young?
know. You can't check that.
How young?
you're
I have
on-
to know.
I
can't say yes.
You're on a private island with Jared Leto and God knows who else.
International
Jared Leto,
law.
Is this Jeffrey Epstein or Jared Leto?
Both. It doesn't
You
matter.
can legally gamble. That's all that matters.
You can legally gamble, kill, fuck, do whatever you want.
You can legally gamble.
You can gamble everything.
Sit with me, child.
I'm about to risk it all.
Fuck.
See, but here's what they would do. He would show you he'd let you have sex with maybe, let's just say, a totally legal person.
Okay.
He would feed you a feast.
Totally legal person. Oh.
He would give you a room. You'd see all this amazing stuff. Tell me what you think, child. Do you like what you see?
You should just talk like that for the rest of your life.
Is this okay, Jared? Can I call you Jared?
We only have the best here.
Am I the best, Jared?
Not yet, child.
Okay.
But you can be someday. But you have to devote your life to me and the way of the Leto.
Of the Leto.
Are you
What are you doing?
Are you ready for the way of the Leto? And then you get
The
thrown.
way of the Leto.
Then you get thrown into a fucking dungeon, and for 8 months,
Fight for your life.
you're beat, you're fucked, you're starved. Everything bad
You're
happens.
scared to fart the rest of your life.
I think Jared Leto just suffers from watching The Last Airbender, and he wishes he was one with all the arrows and symbols he uses.
Yeah, but he keeps you going. See, you get that. You get that bright light.
I'm
And
sure
that,
he made it before the last Airbender.
that silhouette of the Jesus-like Leto stand, like he comes to the door, opens the door, the guards open the door, and he looks in and he says, "Just a little longer, follow us." I don't know what he was saying.
like you're tied and it's dripping blood.
You're exhausted.
You like
exhausted.
You let the guy from Passion of the Christ. Jesus.
Yeah, that one guy.
That one guy.
And Jared looks in and he said, "Just a little longer, followers. It will be better." And he maybe throws you a fucking Ritz cracker to keep you going.
That's all you need is a Ritz cracker.
Still ass.
There will be nothing good is going to come out of the Jared Leto fucking cult. Nothing good.
It was
And
good for the first 5
What
minutes.
cult works?
I cannot believe we're as a society.
Why are we talking about
allowed
the Jared Leto
this.
cult now?
The whole time.
It's kind of like this.
We should have just researched the Jared Leto cult.
We will do it. I want to do
yeah,
it now.
we'll do it. Yeah, do
The
that.
kill has been playing in my head the whole time you've been talking.
Can't break me down.
All I remember from that video is a dude sucking off the dude in the bear suit.
I've never seen the music video.
Okay.
They did that one. Wasn't that the Shining ripoff music video?
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump back in. So they built their compound that Thomas has said that they considered the Noah's Ark.
Was it a boat?
No,
No.
that's just what they considered it.
Because they
It
thought
had
they
an
were all
arch.
going to be transported.
So they built it.
Arch.
I think I have it. I think I have it here. It's kind of crazy. Let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna basically like summarize it. They built this place during the night of March 15th. The members came together and slaughtered 3 bulls and consumed 70 crates of soft drinks.
Coca-Cola.
Was it?
It was 70 crates of cola.
It was Fago. Probably dropped from like World Health Organization.
Wait. Okay, you're skipping ahead to the March 17th party.
Well, it starts on the 15th. They party on the 15th.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, first we need to talk about the December 31st, 1999, when they thought that they were going to have the apocalypse and be transported to heaven, and it never happened. So then all the members got pissed off at them. And then Joseph miraculously had a vision like a week later saying, "Oh, yeah, it's going to be in March.
Yeah.
That's the real apocalypse date, and y'all need to stay with me and give me everything else you got so we can make this journey together."
Yeah.
Kind of like the dude on the 700 Club saying Katrina was a blessing.
Who was that?
Did that happen?
Yeah, he says the fragrance or the
Was it Pat Robinson?
The guy with
One
the
of them
private jet.
Similar.
Jesus Christ.
I need my own private jet so I can stay away from all the demons inside of normal people.
Talk to me
You
again,
know what
bitch.
You know what I
fucking talk to
imagine
me like that.
on March whenever they got the 3 cows and those like 70 crates of cola?
God, no.
What is that? It sounds like a fucking Ugandan prostitute pretending to enjoy sex.
It was a man.
Oh my god!
I can totally feel everything.
Oh my god! You're so big. Play it one more time.
Sounds like a Teletubby.
It sounds like an oyster out of water.
He's like flapping his clam
No,
shell.
oysters and like some weird objects make those weird like. I thought
All
that's
right.
what you
See
were
an enemy?
playing.
All right. There's a page you can go to. This chick that sold bathwater. She probably makes that noise too.
Belle Delphine.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that name, I think of a city in Mario Sunshine.
I think of the girl from Beauty and the Beast.
I think of Bella Delphine,
Yeah.
who sells her bathwater. So
Anyways,
these people somehow had 70 crates of soft drinks, and they had purchased to celebrate the building of their new church. On the next day, the 16th, the leader, Kibblewhite, deposited the land title of their property along with the Article of Association, Constitution, and Certificate of Incorporation with the police at the Kanungu for safety custody.
Ooh.
They prayed all through the following night. The next morning of the 17th, they met with their new church building. A little before 10, they were seen leaving the new church to enter the old church, which was used as a dining hall at that time. The windows were boarded up from the outside, and the doors were locked. Just after 10:30, an explosion was heard, and a fire quickly consumed the building, and all those inside were dead.
yeah, that was the 50 liters of sulfuric acid that went off in there.
That were disguised as soda. Those 70 crates of soda was actually gas.
That cola looks a little strange there, buddy.
This does not taste good.
God!
This does not.
This is spicy meatball.
It's like budget.
They're Italian now?
This is budget soda.
Oh, we're sorry about your soda there, eh? Sorry about that, bud. Going to be a blazer up there just sometime in the morning. Might need a jacket.
So this is where the math gets weird and the calendar kind of jumps around.
Yep.
4 days after the fire, investigators found 6 bodies in the bottom of the latrine behind the new church covered in concrete.
You think they dove into some concrete to avoid the fire?
Well, this is where you start to figure out that these people didn't just
It was planned.
just kill themselves accordance with the church. They were forced or they were brutally murdered.
Yeah. At first, when the church caught fire, it was about 530 people inside, and they thought it was a mass suicide.
Right. So the 6 had been brutally murdered, half undressed, and placed almost haphazardly in a hole. On March 24th, another 153 bodies were found in a mass grave in a nearby, what they would say, buhunga. I'm not for sure what a buhunga is.
Cowabunga.
But it's basically a mass grave. So 2 days later, after March 21st, another 155 bodies were unearthed in a mass grave in a sugarcane field.
Yep.
Some had been stabbed, and others had
Choked.
pieces of cloth wrapped tightly around their throats.
I like that they described some of them were choked by banana leaf wire.
Whoa, thin wire?
Yeah, they would, the wire you make from banana leaves and stuff like that, they
No, I
choked
don't.
them with that.
I don't know
Yeah, I made some the other night.
He's like, you know the fucking wire you
Okay.
make with bananas.
Okay.
What leaves are on bananas, man?
I've never had leaves of my bananas.
Okay, in Uganda, they don't have just, like,
These
rope
are-
just readily available.
Oh,
so they,
the bananas just doesn't come in.
Yeah, so like the trees and stuff, when you skin the bark and you triple tie it or whatever, they make their own rope.
When did you become an expert in this?
I just read it. Not now. I gotta do the research somehow, man.
All right.
That's where my research led me.
So once again,
It was in the news article. I read a news article about it.
Choke wire.
They made choke wire out of trees. It was homemade choke wire, and they choked
That's
out
how
these
they
motherfuckers.
make rope in indigenous countries.
Thomas got a fucking erection at that point when he started seeing choke wire.
It was cool. Well, I actually don't like choking people, but
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
dear,
you
we're
said
going back to the courts, okay?
You said it, not me.
I said I didn't. That's a good thing,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Well, so
What about that now?
some were stabbed, some were choked. They appeared to have been
Banana
dead
leaves.
for at least a month.
Damn.
So the people that went into the church and the people that got lit on fire, there were already people that were dead before this. So someone in the church, a group, were planning this stuff in stages. Yeah. Somehow they killed 155 people, and then no one noticed. No one said, "Where's 155 of our congregation?"
B Tank got killed then?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, if this
No.
had happened in America, it would have never flew because it would have been like safety health checkup. We're just making sure you're still alive. Someone called about you. But in Uganda, there's they probably got AIDS or ate by a leopard.
No. In America, it would just be like another Waco. They'd just be like, get out of here in L.A. And
Problem
like,
solved.
Right.
Hey, they just brushed their hands off.
They're like, hey, we need to check your latrines, sir. And all they do is cock their ARs.
Just shoot through the latrine doors, hoping they just got one less Mormon. All right, so they appear to have been dead for at least a month. Another 81 bodies, including 44 children, were discovered on the farm of the leader, Joseph.
Why would you kill the kids?
They killed the younglings.
Just the men, the women, and the children, too.
Yeah, I mean, they just kept finding bodies. 74
evil.
bodies here, 28 bodies here, beneath the concrete floor of one of the leader's homes. So there was multiple people that helped run this whole organization.
I hate concrete.
It wasn't just Kibblewhite.
It's gritty, and it gets everywhere.
He's got flashbacks right now.
It's just a weird kink he had. It's
So-
like, bring me more children to kill.
Yeah, it's tough because it is Africa, so
My
who
name's
knows
Kilowatt.
what they were killing as
like
far
a
as a sacrifice.
Surplus of children.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a surplus of children already over there that are fighting for warlords.
Well,
So
imagine they probably did them a favor. It's like, well, you're going to get AIDS or die in 10 years anyway.
Yeah, that
Maybe
air
they
bubble
were-
gut.
Maybe they were taking on the virgins to get rid of their
tapeworm
AIDS.
gut.
Oh, take the virgins to get rid of AIDS?
Yeah, that's what. Did you know that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, in Africa back in the day, they would rape virgins to get rid of AIDS.
Don't think that's how that works, though.
Sure,
Yeah,
spread
they
AIDS.
I mean, they also cut off tusks, turn it into powder, and hopefully
Tusks?
makes their wieners a little harder.
Yeah, elephant
I
tusks.
thought that was Asia. My bad.
It is Asia. I'm just saying there's other like Western
same.
weird things to do. So
I could see someone believing that if you had sex with a virgin, it would cure your ailments.
What? Really?
I could see someone thinking that would work, especially in a culture such as that.
I mean, we believed in America that if a woman sank, she wasn't a witch. And she was dead.
That was probably like 400 or 500 years before this. Though.
If they floated, she was a witch, and she got fucking killed anyway. So either way, she
You're
was getting killed.
That's just how you kept your wife from back talking you
Yeah.
back
So-
in the time.
All in all, 800 members of the movement lost their lives.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And it wasn't voluntary. It wasn't voluntary.
What's
It
the
was-
percentage of like the population of Africa? Like, let's be honest, like Corona.
I mean,
That's a
people-
drop in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have chalked that up as another AIDS thing. They probably said, well, they died of AIDS.
Apparently, they had an impressive
Well, a
collection
desert
of guns, too.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because it's Uganda.
And it also strengthened
gun
the fact that they were a cult.
Misa got the guns.
Me's a gun done.
Oh, this is actually interesting. So they found some documents in Kibblewhite's home that linked
Some dog food every time you say that. Sorry.
that just linked him and the Australian
no L.
Doomsday Group. Apparently, there was an Australian Doomsday Group called the Marian Workers of Atonement
Atonement.
that he had documents of.
Some cable.
That kind of probably, led them to believe the things that they believed. He may have
Right.
taken a page from their book.
I think this was just a piss poor cult. It was not thought out very well, and he was just trying to get money, and then was like, well, He ripped off the Catholic Church. He ripped off of Scientology.
Dude, they had 4,000 members.
It was a ripoff, and then
That was more than Jim Jones.
But you got to think, why would you give an end date?
I figured the hooker had him believing, and then it didn't come, and he's like, well, might as well burn this church down and get rid of all the evidence.
I think they're
Couple
still
lawsuits.
alive. The main core leaders.
Oh yeah, they never found them though. Well, the problem was the fires that happened in the church
It scorched the fucking shit.
burned the DNA, like burned people so bad they couldn't sift
And
through the
they
ashes.
probably can't afford top-notch forensics.
They said in like 2012 they had a report that they may have had saw Joseph.
Well, we've seen
Like-
Elvis too, so and we've seen Hitler, so we could go on and on about
Yeah.
sightings.
Is
I
that-
mean,
Was that the same area that MH370 disappeared?
Maybe.
Airplane.
Yeah.
the one they never found.
Malaysian Airlines.
I'm
Oh,
sure.
Malaysian. Sorry.
I'm sure that I could find someone in the past 200 years that I look identical to. And I'm
yeah.
sure after I die, in 200 years, there'll be someone else that looks identical to me.
There's probably 3 people alive right now that live like you.
Yeah.
So if you see him, you die.
There's other Tyler Nottinghams in the world, believe it or not. And I want to fucking meet them.
I hate people with the same name as me.
I messaged him and say nice name.
Nice name.
If I even hear somebody has the same first name as me, it's like,
I know 2 other Chris Youngs. One's a baseball player.
thanks for
one's
doxing me.
and one,
You're just a plebe in their world, though, Chris.
Oh yeah,
bleep
you're
that out.
Whatever. I spell mine with like a K and a
Wait,
Y.
what?
But they know our
Yeah.
names, and it's fine.
I spell mine with a K and a R and a Y and a S. I-S.
Every time Thomas
Man, I
makes
just spell crisis.
every time I make a post on Facebook, it says
KRISS.
Tyler Nottingham made a post to TACT Lab, so I think it's okay.
My name is Crisis.
Crisis, yeah, a baseball player and a country singer.
Yeah.
There's a bunch more. There's a movie producer, a guy who writes movie music.
So then it makes you also think, did you end up on the short end of the stick of that name because you weren't a baseball player?
Yeah, you're a plebe, Chris, compared to them.
I think as far as people with my name go, I'm like mid-tier.
Okay.
Because you're not homeless.
And I could fight my
Yeah.
way up to top tier.
Yeah, you're not begging for food on the side of
with
the road.
bullets.
Bullets and bloodshed. Bullets, booze, and blood.
Pretty much this way, if I ever went into Hollywood, like I can't use my name because it's probably copyrighted.
True.
Yeah, I can
you had to
see
use your
you-
full name in the
Yeah, you'd have to use your middle name or the anagram of your name.
You
Like
would
just the three
totally be
letters.
like Jay and Silent Bob in Hollywood. Like you're just walking around Hollywood Hills eating old women out in their Jeep.
Blown whoopee cushion.
Yeah, blowing truck drivers that are angry.
Shit looks like a busted balloon.
Got that Red Kingdom.
Who is the truck driver that's dead now? Who is a stand-up angry comedian? Anyways,
Not sure.
Ah.
I know Muse gave him a blowjob because it was the way of the highway.
It's the way of the road.
So these people, there's some still, like Thomas said, there's some still hiding in the shadows, and they never found, like, out of the people that were buried in the graves and the people that died in the fire, they didn't find Mr. Kibblewhite's DNA. So
There's no L.
I'm just saying it because I can't fucking say his last name. Let me try to say
Just say
it.
Joseph.
Just.
I want to say
Just say Joseph.
Kibwirteri. Kibwiteri.
Like you made me keep on thinking of Back to the Future.
I'm saying Kibblewhite. It's fine.
1.21 gigawatts.
So
All right.
they never found the guy. They never found some of his other head honchos.
His extreme followers.
Yeah, he may have called the shot. He may have said, "It's time. It's time to end this because I can't keep pushing this date back." So
Some say he's out there starting another cult, lurking in the shadows.
yeah,
There you go.
Probably couldn't see him in the shadows.
You can see his eyes and teeth if he smiles.
That's racist.
well,
No, it's not. It's facts. We already discussed this with Samuel L. Jackson.
we didn't discuss it with
Not
fucking
with him, but
It's
at him.
a noir picture.
yeah.
Black and white, yes.
I mean, you can't really discuss it with a picture. I'm just saying.
Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Fine, motherfucker.
There we go. See?
He's fine.
He's fine.
He
That
thinks
sounded
it's
more
funny.
like Dokes from Dexter.
That's how you say
Kibwiteri.
it.
Kibwiteri.
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 That's like
Джозеф, нижнее подчеркивание, кибветир.
That's just a bunch of nonsense.
How as if he's a Freedomite.
Okay.
Not a
Keyboard
femdemite.
mission. That's what it said.
Yeah, you have a better chance of just saying his name and then playing that back in reverse. And getting it right.
Joseph Diff just
This phone made it easy. Kibble weird.
So
weird.
I want to just throw this out there for the next podcast. I'd like to talk about the Order of the Nine Angels, but I don't know if we should.
Fuck it. We talk about them and Jared Leto.
Well, they know our names
I think it's
now.
the angles.
I don't. There is actually 7 angels and then the 9 angels. So I think the one we talked about in the text messages was 7, but the
It's
9
7.
Angels are the bad ones. They're both bad.
Oh, really?
Because the 7 angels guys just went into a police station and shot the fuck out of it, and the 9 angels are also really, really bad. But I think we'll go into it kind of hazardly. Is it
Haphazardly, yeah.
and maybe not like. Maybe we'll just give them the facts.
Are these the kind of guys that's going to kill us if we talk about them?
Maybe it's 7 angels.
So the 7 angels guys got arrested because they got mad. Scratch that. I will use another example. There was a white supremacist group that just got mad at a podcaster. They went to pay him a visit. It ended up being the wrong house. So the police got involved and arrested a bunch of them.
So you're saying we should tweet them Thomas's address?
They'll find out about it. Trust me. If we don't give them the information, they'll find out about the information.
So we need to post guns next.
yeah, I don't use a VPN service because we're not sponsored by the one, so they can trace my IP.
Order of the 9 angles.
Yeah.
So that's the satanic one.
Yeah. Well, they're also Russian.
NordVPN, ExpressVPN. hit us up.
Save us,
Mostly
NordVPN.
Russian. Mostly Russian.
Europe, Russia.
Yeah, and there are some followers in the United States, so that could be problematic for us. But
How's it going to be problematic unless we're just sitting here like
Nine
9
They're
angles sucking dicks?
founding locations.
All right, what podcast did they go after?
I don't know.
United Kingdom.
You
I
find
don't-
out. And
They-
they were like,
Dude,
we don't have guns, then now you know why.
We could probably booby trap you up a little shotgun door trap.
That's illegal.
Blow. No, it's not.
my ghost will
You
stop
telling me
them.
it's legal to set up a booby trap shotgun?
If it's in your own home,
We can do a deep dive into the Order of the 9 angles. I'm down for this.
I'm ready for it.
There's a lot there.
There's a lot there, yeah.
There's a lot there. I mean, I'm talking like child prostitution, terrorism,
Right-wing terrorism,
child sexual abuse,
child prostitution,
murder,
white supremacy,
Death.
Mayday.
Aryan race in the Milky Way,
So what, y'all want to just do that next?
Okay.
human sacrifice. We got
Yeah.
magic and dark gods.
Magic.
We got sevenfold way. We got a bunch of stuff to cover.
Let's do it.
Nazism and cosmology.
Satan.
Cosmology or
Deterrent.
cosmetology?
Cosmology. We ain't cutting hair, homie.
Doing makeup.
They don't even know one mustache.
They
for,
have they're linked up with the local Rowan community. They're linked up.
that great clip.
They're linked up with the local community.
You
college.
walk into Super Cousins with the white guys with tattoos. And it's
Like, what do you want, skinhead or skinhead?
You know, skinhead? You want the little mustache?
Outro song is coming on. I'm just gonna say, be careful with Jared Leto. He's a fantastic looking guy. I guess he used to be, but now he's a little problematic.
That's an aesthetic.
Come to me, child. I just think, just be careful. Can you imagine the women that he has duped into being there with
Can you
him?
imagine the women he's scared off?
Dude, if Corey Feldman can
Dude.
score,
He's Jared fucking Leto. He's not duping anyone.
Yeah, dude, if Corey Feldman can get banged by Charlie Sheen,
It's a dupe to be in his cult.
Yeah, but women are willingly laying down for him.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're gonna get it there. So, Chris, what do you have?
I guess by the time anyone hears this, the Civil War will have started, so good luck.
Yes,
Yeah.
be careful with that. Be careful how you vote. I mean, vote however you want, but
Don't kill your neighbor.
you don't need to get violent about it,
Yeah,
people.
don't kill anybody.
No, don't kill anybody.
Thomas, your turn.
That's what I think about this podcast.
All I imagine is just somebody getting fucked, and they're just pretending to like it.
No, he found out he had a baby.
Okay.
all right.
That's he found out his whatever he was having a baby.
I'm telling you, I heard this weird like sponge thing in the ocean going. Bah! It sounds just like that.
I don't know.
Alex, what do you got?
I'm going to start a new pasta cult. So may we bow our heads and pray to our noodle lord, ramen. All right.
Wow. Oh, okay.
That was it.
Yeah, ramen. That's their amen.
Okay,
Ramen.
amen.
Oh, Rayman.
Ramen.
Oh, I'm in. I get it.
All right, well,
Is this going to be our holy holiday, Ramadan?
Yeah, Ramadan.
well,
Hey, we live in the triangle thing. So we can have the
research
tri-pasta.
triangle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're a little south of that, but I
I
guess
think we're pretty good south of that. We're nowhere near the
Never
Research Triangle.
RDU,
An hour
baby.
away.
I do want to say, if anyone out there has been involved or been involved in a cult, write into us. We'd love to hear your cult story. We'd love to hear, what you went through out there. So, write in, let us know what that was like for you. Send pictures if you have any too. So, other than that, we love reviews. We love reviews, even if they're terrible reviews. Just let us hear them. We want to know what we're doing good. We want to know what we're doing bad. So, Thomas, how can they get a hold of us?
Yeah, so if you had a really fun time with us, make sure you can search TACT Lab. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We have content all over the fucking place. You can also support us at patreon.com/TACT Lab. We have a few cool things over there. And like Tyler was saying, leave us some feedback, a comment, 5 stars. If you love us, if you hate us, still give us 5 stars. And you can also send us an email at tactlabpod@gmail.com. That's TACTLABPOD @gmail.com. Thanks.